As It Were Productions and Aeroscope Pictures presents...
Hi, everybody. My name is Joe Lynch.
I'm Becca Howard.
One of those. And this is A Couple Old Fashions, a conversation show about movies by movie lovers because, well, we love movies and we love drinking and all that stuff. And we thought that this would be a perfect opportunity for us to recommend a couple movies just to you. Anything you want to say?
Whew.
Was that good?
We didn't have any bourbon, so we just made that out of like a Rob Roy version of an old fashioned, which has scotch. So lovely. But it is Friday.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
So essentially what this podcast, subsidiary of the lovely Movie Crypt, of which you are already subscribed, is meant to be is like an invite to Joe and my Friday night date nights, where all we do is basically have a couple of old fashions for a couple of old fashioned people, watch a couple of movies and discuss those movies, and hopefully you enjoy us doing that. If not, it's okay. I'm sorry. We wasted your time.
To be fair, we've been talking about doing this for a very long time, and it wasn't until we got to do the Slumber Party Massacre,
which was very fun. You guys are so nice. I never had like
That's
such
what
a
I've
loving
been saying for the longest time. They're the sweetest people. You've met a few.
I'm just incredibly socially shy and awkward, like painfully so.
As you can tell.
Yeah, as you can tell right now, I'm like, But I didn't know, I never, until Joe like basically begged us, like me and Chris.
Begged. Wait a second.
To do the
I said,
Slumber
we're doing
Party
Predator.
Massacre.
And you were like, I need to do it.
With him, since Adam is away on mission. That we kind of help him like schmooze and talk and everything.
Just keep the lights on a little bit.
Yeah,
and you didn't want to hear me do it all by myself.
I didn't realize how lovely it would be. I didn't realize how lovely you are. So yes, that is what motivated us to do this just while Adam's away, see how it goes. And if you guys like it or not, let us know.
Well, you're going to let us know, all right.
So the concept of it.
Let's talk about the concept.
Yes.
We do have a structure. You might think that this is just a freewheeling conversation, but there is a drive. I have notes. There are notes here. Double-sided, too.
How are your notes going for you?
We've touched on a couple things.
They'll be going even better in a moment.
Yeah, we've touched a couple
He's
things.
Such a dork.
Also, we do have other cameras now. Those other cameras. Let's just let you guys know there's no one else in the Aeroscope, the lovely Aeroscope office with us, except for Rocco. If you want to grab him, that's fine. There's no one else here. We're doing this completely by ourselves with some raggedy ass tripods, both of our iPhones. So if anyone's calling us now, we put that shit on
iPhone
private.
is very, very old.
So my camera right here probably looks like crap. Your camera looks amazing, of course.
Well, Joe insisted because, I put makeup on and he didn't. So, that's the way that cookie crumbled.
I'm a dude. I don't need makeup.
Anyway, the concept of our podcast is that basically every Friday we decide separately based on a general kind of movie theme what movie to bring. It's based basically on our first date, where we each brought a Blu-ray to watch to this very office you see before you here. And at the time, it was just a movie that was like a surprise movie that neither of us knew what the other one was going to bring. And I
bit of a litmus test, right?
Yeah, bit of a litmus test to see how the other person was going to react and if they were going to be dismissive. So I'm a big fan of old movies, and I brought a 1936 one called My Man Godfrey, which stars my man William Powell and my lady Carol Lombard. And a lot of people tend to make fun of me for my fandom of these things. So it was important for me to know.
You have a very well-rounded acumen of cinema
I love a lot of
general.
movies.
Yes.
I love a lot of movies. So which is why when Joe brought out his pick at that same said first date, I was like, yes, and not like, oh.
I think at that point we both knew that we had keeper situations on our hands.
Yes.
And my movie, as I've probably mentioned on the show before, was Lucio Fulci's beautiful piece of cinema, New York Ripper, which if you've seen New York Ripper, they actually go well.
Not the worst.
No, and that's part of the reason why we wanted to start this show.
Full circle, here we are. So every Friday,
we're back at the office.
We come up with a theme, and that's all we know.
Yep.
It's the theme. And then Joe brings a movie, I bring a movie, we announce it to one another right here in this introduction, which we like to call Hair of the Dog.
We should probably have like a da-da-da-da-da-da, hair of the dog.
And get the drink theme. Oh, yeah, that dog.
So the plan is for the month of March, we're going to have, this episode, this is, we're giving you a little taste.
Kickoff.
Yes, this is a kickoff.
So this might be slightly longer than our regular ones because we're getting used to this whole situation.
It's a little shaggier. It's, we're testing things out.
Scoobier.
This is what we like to call here in lovely downtown Burbank, pilot season. And this is where we're going to try things out. That's why whenever you've seen shows like in sitcoms in the past, usually by the third or fourth episode, they kind of get their footing. So apologies in advance.
Like the third or fourth episode of Holliston, right? Right, Adam?
You have no right to do Holliston
I did a little
shame when he's not
for
here
all
right
those
now.
people. No, because everyone, like the critics all said by the third or fourth episode, which was funny because you shot it first. That was, I know this. I'm a fan as well. I'm also been a long time movie crypt community person.
And
just,
a Patreon.
Little anonymously by the wayside, just like, hello. And now I'm like, hello. So we'll see.
And now, so dreams do come true.
Yes. Anyway, so shall we continue with the show?
So just to let you know, this is going to be, this is the first pilot episode for the whole month of March. We're going to be unveiling an episode each Friday night, hopefully by midnight if the edit goes well, just in time for you to be able to have your own date nights. And maybe we'll find something that you guys will like. Maybe we'll recommend something that you'll like. Now, part of the fun of this is we don't know what the other person's going to show. Right after this very long-winded intro, we're going to go to that very couch, watch the movies, come back, discuss them, and really try to decide
what the movies are on air
here
to each other.
Yeah.
And then decide what's the A movie and what's the B movie,
which is a very crucial part
the
of
order,
the curation of the double feature. The perfect double feature is one that kind of complements each other. And you know what? If we don't come up with a good chemistry, we'll come up with some alts.
Yeah, we have done this curation without prior knowledge, and as we've already sort of tested, both of us react to movie themes in very different ways.
Yes.
So this is going to have some interesting results. So would you like to say what the first movie theme is?
Yes.
For our very first Friday date night at the movies with Joe and Becca.
So the first theme is, there's probably going to be a jingle here. It's called One Night Only. Do you want to talk about what One Night Only means to you, Becca?
Well, I mean, because I don't want to. Can I reveal what my pick is? Because that's.
Well, I think
is relates to the theme of One Night Only.
The rule of One Night Only, at least for me, would be that it's a film that kind of takes place over the course of one night.
Yeah, that's how I thought about it as well.
That's the rough rules.
Yes.
That I think would apply, to so many movies, but I think that that's one that kind of helped us narrow things down a little bit. Plus, there's so many movies over almost 100 years that use that rule.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of left us with a lot of possibilities.
Also might be the subtitle for this podcast. Lasted for one night only.
Ye of little faith. Yeah, I'm not justifying that with a response. I'm cutting that out. That's negativity. Glass half full, not empty.
I should stop drinking
I should start drinking.
So should I say what it means to me in the run-up to how it influenced my choice?
That's a great idea.
Okay, because that's kind of how I thought about it.
Okay.
So I always liked those kind of old movie type one night only at like a mysterious castle where you have to last just one night at this old dark house. Speaking of this old dark house, great James Whale movie.
Wait, are we watching that?
No.
Damn it.
And then I thought of, we turned the page.
Oh, no, I'm doing pretty good with these notes.
Oh,
so yeah, we're on track.
Good for us.
Yeah.
All right. The other type of these movies that I really like
is going so off the rails already. I love
William Castle's very seminal Vincent Price horror, The House on the Hill.
The House on Haunted Hill.
Haunted Hill. My brain farted as that was happening. And
I'm going to put a sound effect in there.
So I thought about both of those, and then I thought, as this is the introductory episode, I should pick a movie that is very emblematic of me. So I went with maybe the greatest amalgamation movie that kind of references all those haunted house films of like one night only in this house and how you're a changed person by the time it gets from dusk till dawn.
Ooh, are we watching From Dusk Till Dawn?
No. I am, of course, talking of the seminal mother of cult classics.
Ooh.
the Rocky Horror Picture
Very
Show.
nice choice.
Thank you.
I would have. That's so funny. I never thought
agree.
that movie was a one night only movie.
It
but
happens
you're right,
over
though.
the course of one night.
All right.
Starts a little in the daytime, but I think that counts if it's like an introductory scene in the day, and then I feel like most one night only movies have that, and then it goes on to the whole night.
Well, it just so happens.
What was your choice, Joe?
My film also starts during the day. It also is one night only. It may be a little more on the bleak side, but very much like Rocky Horror, because I'm now formulating all of these similarities. It also deals with a couple thrust into a precarious situation and their relationship tested. It is the simple story.
Oh, so not After Hours then?
Close. You know what? Very close.
Shit.
You could say shit.
Okay.
Shit, fuck,
I was
piss.
looking
Like,
forward
have
to
you ever
saying
listened to the movie Crib? Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we're
love
good.
After Hours. I was kind of hoping it would be that.
Well, I did think of that. That was actually my go-to. I think that's one of the seminal, like, one night only movies.
Oh, yeah.
But very similar in kind of tone. The one night only movies for me are best exemplified by like pressure cookers. Movies that take that ticking clock or a ticking down clock, if you will, and really ramps up the tension by setting up these characters and then trying to figure out like how they deal with a situation. Mm-hmm. So this movie is the very lovely, simple story of boy meets girl, boy oversleeps and loses girl, then boy gets a phone call and finds out that the end of the world is happening in 50 minutes, and the rest of the film takes place in real time. And that would be the lovely Steve DeJarnis 1988 cult classic, Miracle Mile.
Haven't seen it.
I know.
I've had it on my list
We
for a long
started
time.
it.
Yeah, right before COVID, we watched the first 10 minutes, and then I very cinematically caught a flight out of LA because I was like, oh, fuck this, and flew back to Europe. And then we never got to finish it. Long distance for a few months, and we never got to finish the movie.
So tonight is the night. I've been so excited to. It's
for
one of those.
Night only.
First off, if you are going to watch along with us,
interesting double.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show is available on what platforms?
We bought it on Apple.
Well, we have it on Apple TV, which we bought at 3 a.m. where it was like, let's get fucking Rocky Horror.
Suggests it might not be that available on other platforms if we bought it.
So if you have the chance to get Rocky Horror on digital, or you have it on Blu-ray or VHS maybe.
I would hope most people will have seen it and already committed it to memory as a kind of like tattooed on their brain type of thing, like I have. Every inch of my cell.
We'll get to that. We still have to watch the movie
for
now.
Rocky.
You can also watch Miracle Mile either on Blu-ray. Kino Lorber did an amazing 4K.
Arrow did a good
Blu-ray.
version in the UK.
Arrow had a good one too. It's also available on Amazon Prime. Now, before we begin, which movie goes first?
I mean, they're good. I feel like, Rocky Horror is like the B movie.
Yes, I completely agree.
It's riffing off of all B movies.
Now, you haven't seen Miracle Mile, but knowing that there is the apocalypse, there is, I can, without spoiling anything, I can attest it does get dark. It gets a little gnarly at times, but it also still has an amazing sense of humor. So I think that might be a good start to the
if it
to
gets
the proceedings.
gnarly, then because like you can't ever end a movie marathon with Rocky Horror and not feel good.
Exactly.
And I do think the feel good is usually better second.
We're gonna go on a dark ride, and then we're gonna come up again thanks to those lips that start Rocky Horror off. And then we'll kind of but correct me if I'm wrong. Rocky Horror does kind of end somewhat bittersweetly as well, right?
Yeah, in a sense, it's about kind of the general gist of it though is that you're embracing your inner freedom, and we'll discuss it after.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess in a way, the fact that he's like crawling, like don't dream it, be it, and he's like going up the RKO radio tower to reach his dreams and not get, like shot with a boom boom pew pew
with a pitchfork, a laser pitchfork.
By the aliens.
All right, well,
from Transylvania. Yes,
all right,
let's do it.
So we're gonna grab our drinks.
Left.
We're gonna go over to the couch and we're gonna start Miracle Mile first, and then Rocky Horror Picture Show right here on A Couple Old Fashions.
Cheers.
Cue the intro and cheers.
This week's episode, One Night Only.
What are you doing? Come on, we got to record. What? Oh my God, my hair.
I have an entrance.
Okay. What the fuck is that?
We said we were gonna do costumes.
Shit. We did
well,
say
now
that.
you look really stupid.
No, I look like extra number 3 at the end of Miracle Mile. Yes, that's it.
Rocket. Ooh, I
Oh my
saw
God,
my
that's
hair
good.
elastic.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you. I know.
Now wait, this is the exact replica of
Yes, I
Rocky
did.
from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
So I used to always go as Magenta.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Rocky Horror for the first time when I was 8 years old with my friend Hope. We loved Rocky Horror and we watched it and we dressed up as Magenta. And yeah, until very recent. And then when we went to the New Art for Joe's first time,
Yes.
the Little Virgin,
Yep.
to see Rocky Horror live
the Dead Meat Gang.
with the Dead Meat Gang.
But that was the first time that I had seen it live, which was amazing. It's a completely different experience.
It is. If you guys haven't been to a live showing with like an MC where they do the whole like sing along, and every time you see Brad you yell asshole, and every time you see Janet you yell slut.
Now,
It's the best. It's so much fun.
Actually, what do you think? Should we talk about the A movie? Will you stop?
Look at my pics.
Yeah. There's something.
Yeah, we should talk about Miracle Mile.
Let's talk about
first.
Miracle Mile first,
Makes
since
sense.
that was the A film.
It's true. Love can be exciting,
Trust me with this.
even terrifying,
Julie! I love you!
but nothing could prepare you for an experience like this.
What is the truth, Harry?
Miracle Mile.
Listen, I'm just a guy who picked up the phone.
You know what? I really liked it.
Okay.
Yes.
Because now the full disclosure, I have seen the movie many times, but it was one of those movies that played on HBO really late at night, every once in a while. And when I saw it as a kid, it freaked me out because we were in the throes of there being an actual nuclear war.
I just had a
in the
thought.
80s, back
Oh
in the
yeah,
80s.
that must have hit in an entirely different way.
You were never born
No.
yet.
What is our rule regarding spoilers? Should we assume that they've seen?
Let's assume
Miracle
that
Mile?
you guys have.
We should have maybe talked about that one. I don't know, because it's hard to talk about Miracle Mile without the ending.
Let's throw up a spoiler warning just in case if anything comes out, you've been warned. Yeah, I'll probably cut to like. Spoiler alert. So there may be light spoilers here, but also at the same time, we want you guys to watch them, the movies, but also watch them again, maybe in this
Go watch
configuration.
them and come back to this and finish the convo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so pause, come back. Hey, welcome back.
This way you can yell at us about all the really amazing points that we're not hitting.
Yeah. For which I still have notes. There are still notes that I'm going to.
Always has notes.
I
Although
have notes.
I found out the most amazing trivia, which I think is the lead bit of trivia
Okay, wait,
in the
wait,
whole
wait,
history
wait,
of the
wait.
world, which Joe didn't know. It
I
wasn't
had
on
no
his
clue.
notes, and
Let
I
me-
told him, and it's the best fun fact.
Let me
ever.
run down this amazing cast. Anthony Edwards from ER, Mayor Winningham from About Last Night, Michael T. Williamson, Forrest Gump, Denise Crosby, Star Trek,
Yes,
Next
it was really
Generation,
cool.
Kelly Jo Minter,
A
Robert
lot of
DeCoy.
them just in it for brief amounts of time.
This is one of those veritable character actor movies where there's
Mm-hmm.
so many of like that guy and that girl in the movie that it adds a weird surrealism if you were growing up in the 80s and saw all these people who were like, oh my God, she's in Twins and that guy's in RoboCop and they're all at this diner all together in this weird situation.
I love that. Might be my favorite scene from the whole movie is
Oh.
when. So okay, brief premise.
Yes. So, brief premise: Anthony Edwards plays Harry, who is a jazz musician who's in town in LA for a
said
concert.
brief.
And I Is this going to be the whole show?
I can do it faster.
Puns? Yeah, that's true.
I can always do it faster.
He plays at a jazz show, which, if you look very closely, our favorite director of Battleship, Pete Berg, is in one shot, and that's how he got a SAG card. He ends up meeting this lovely girl at a museum. They fall in love very, very quickly.
Somehow make it all the way down to Santa Monica and then all the way back up
that
to Miracle Mile in La Brea.
What I love about this movie is that it all takes
so
place
LA of me.
in one or two blocks. But essentially, they make a date. They're outside Johnny's Diner, which is on the corner of Fairfax and Wilshire, which kind of becomes the hub for the whole movie. And in a very weird series of events, which kind of tells you, don't smoke, kids. He goes out for a smoke. He has half a cigarette, throws it out. A pigeon grabs the cigarette.
When he threw the cigarette out, like, oh my God, that's how people like used to die. Well, I guess they still do sometimes, but people die.
The cigarette holding
he
pigeon.
Just throws it without putting it out. And then he does set fire to the bird house. And then that electrocutes the whole motel. So his alarm goes off. He misses the alarm, misses the date, wakes up a couple hours later. There's a really sad moment where she's outside her diner for where she said to meet him. And she's like, she
waited for him
poor lady.
outside at 1 a.m. at Johnny's. He doesn't show up. He shows up 2 hours later. She goes to her friend's house, takes a Valium, passes out. So she's
her grandma's
out of
house.
It. Yeah. He gets to the diner, and while he's waiting for her, and then this is where we introduce some of those character actors that you've seen before, he hears the phone ringing. This is back in the day when no one had cell phones. So it turns
out you didn't have to pause this to go see the movie, because Joe's just going to verbally go through.
No, but this is very important that you need to know.
Yeah, okay, so...
He gets a phone call, random phone call at a phone booth, and it's this harried guy who's saying that in 50 minutes, all the missiles are going to go off and the world is going to end.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost like a Coen Brothers moment of like a modern retelling of Homer, where the phone just randomly rings. And it's a kid on the phone who's trying to get in touch with his dad. And he's like, I work at this missile silo, and the big one's coming, and it's going to like explode. And you have like 70 minutes before it hits you.
No,
and I'm
50.
like, yeah.
And that happens right at the moment where there's only 50 minutes left of the movie.
And Anthony Edwards is all in real time. And Anthony Edwards is all like, oh, is this some kind of joke? Like, as you would assume. And then someone on the other end is like, who are you? And he's like, no one,
and blows the kid away.
Yeah, you hear gunfire. And then he's like on the phone. And Anthony Edwards is like, is this some kind of a prank? And he's like, no, go back to sleep.
So creepy.
And it's so good.
Very
and
metaphorical,
like
too. Is he saying that in general? Like, is that the Reagan administration telling us all
America,
to go back to sleep?
Go back to sleep. Anyway,
so from there...
That's actually the scene right after that. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
When he goes back into
the diner. Because I think it's one of the most kind of like it's a very cinematic film. But that one moment is almost like a play in the sense that, he's kind of... It's almost like a courtroom drama scene.
Well, it's like a contained thriller, like Rio Bravo or Assault on Precinct 13.
Convince this kind of random mishmash of people who are just at this diner at like this weird random time in the morning near where, like off La Brea, which was like classically where you'd get a lot of, pickups and like, things happening, not so savory things happening. If you saw Sean's movie Tangerine,
that's right down the street.
It's like a similar area. So he's trying to convince all of these different people from all these different walks of life. You have this Denise Crosby, who plays like a stocks broker, and then these kind of plumbing guys, and then like a streetwalker guy, and like it's a bunch of different, really crazy different people. I love how I gave you shit for like taking a really long time to set up a scene, and now I'm doing the exact same thing. This
is the pilot, folks.
Yeah,
we're gonna tighten this shit
up.
I
just really love that, but I will. That is the reason I'm going into such detail. That really is my favorite scene.
It may be mine as well.
Like just all the characters and the way the camera moves around, and he decides, because you're like right there with him. Like, what would you do?
This movie took 8 years to make. At one point, it was going to be one of these segments from Twilight Zone, the movie. And Spielberg...
it was super Twilight Zone-y.
But they wanted it, very much condensed. They wanted a different ending. And he was like, nope. And I think while it does play like a Twilight Zone episode in a way, I think you needed that full experience of like a 90-minute movie to watch his journey. If that was like a 20-minute thing, it wouldn't have been the same.
Well, that's the only thing that I struggled with watching it for the first time, is that it's in real time, and he's basically like long story short, the whole rest of the movie is him trying to get back to the woman he's fallen in love with that day on his last night on Earth. Literally, he has one night only to save her. And he's like trying to get to this copter at the top of this building and trying to get to her, and she's like passed out. Yeah, it's a really, really stressful experience.
The whole time we were watching it for the first time. I had seen it before, so I know how it ends. And we will not spoil the end.
Oh, we won't?
Well, maybe. We'll see. Because that is a pretty important part of the movie.
Yeah. There's literal shots of them like at department stores with like time, like clocks behind them going like. So the whole time, even though I kept feeling like this was an allegorical movie, it's kind of like Homer. It's not, you're not meant to take it super literally. I didn't really think they were ever going to escape. It feels super like a dream. It's almost like that penultimate chapter in Catch-22 where he's like on this nightmare journey like through Italy or something.
Speaking of dreams, the score by Tangerine Dream is one of the reasons why, if you wanted to pair it up with something like Risky Business, also done by Tangerine Dream, it's actually a really good double feature with that as well. But we won't talk about Risky Business because that's another movie. It's one of those perfect what would you do in that situation kind of movies. Put yourself in
but
Anthony
Edwards' shoes. But it's also even geographically, like how in a dream you think about a place and then you're randomly in that place.
Or how people randomly come
keep
in and out of your
meeting
life,
each other, and then like violence is sporadic and random, and it's like, so it is incredibly dream logic-y. So I kept trying to tell myself that and to not get so invested in like the stress of it all.
But at the same watching time, you sitting there going, I hate this.
I was like, oh, because it is dream. So there's loads of points where he's like, I meant to get to this place and like, and then like,
that was a great Anthony Edwards,
by something else. And it's very annoying because you're like, you had to get to that place.
At one point, Michael T. Williamson, who plays Bubba Gump in Forrest Gump, shows up, and he's kind of the bringer of chaos.
I feel, exactly. It's all super symbolic and stuff. So I feel like if you watched it a second time, you would be able to slow down, slow your roll, and just enjoy it a lot more. And I knew, even watching it, I knew that's how you were supposed to be watching it, but I was, also engaging with it, and it was just very. So that was the one thing, but I did really like it overall, for sure. And the reason why is kind of the ending. So I guess.
Well, all right. So to spoil this a little bit, because you kind of need to know. So they do get back together, and
she's like off her face on Xanax, and
that's my one gripe is that she becomes so aloof. That. There's like the momentum slows down a little bit because she's kind of a zombie, also, and then she becomes kind of like irate at points.
Well, her she should be more irate. That's another thing that did annoy me, with that he swoops in and like doesn't even tell her that the world is ending. And
but just sort of like to kind of keep things moving instead of like just shutting down.
Yeah, but like it's also kind of a weird, like he kind of makes all her decisions for her. Because I was saying throughout the entire movie that if this happened, if I was the one that took that call in the diner, I would 1000%. All I'd want is just, if we're separated, obviously, find each other, find the dog, unless it's, we're in a totally other part of LA, in which case, fuck the dog.
Wait, where's the dog?
And then go to a diner and spend the whole rest of our one night only to bring it back to eating, all of the calories, because, tomorrow's never coming. And what's hilarious is that at the end of the movie, there's a really beautiful sub-story about how this Mayor Winningham's grandparents haven't talked to each other for 20 years. And one of the themes I love about it is making use of the time and the people that you have while they're in your life, and grabbing the moment in front of you. And
they have about 30 minutes left.
Yeah. So they go to Cantor's, which is a diner that still exists that we frequented in LA. And I love when that happened, because I'd literally said to Joe like 10 times.
5 minutes before, you're like, why are they not just going to Cantor's?
What I would do is just go to, because I mean, fuck surviving in like an apocalyptic world where there is no pie. or
eat all the pie.
Melt sandwiches.
Because you're right, there is no calories tomorrow. And what better way than to just spend it with the person you love?
No, that's what I mean though. If the apocalypse happened, there's no more pie.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So just go eat it all. Hang darn the calories, and just have the best last night of your life. and then, you know, die holding hands with a mouthful of food.
Now, that's unfortunately what they don't do.
I almost wish the world would end so we could do that.
There's a dangling carrot of a little vestige of hope. Someone's got a helicopter way up at what's now the Variety Building.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say, that the grandparents do that. And I was like, I'm literally an old lady.
Like, you're like, I'll go with them.
Yeah, really. And the thing is, she wants to go with them. So it did irk me that he was like, no, you don't want to go with them.
Because there was the movie sets up a chance that they could survive.
He does make that choice for her. Maybe she didn't want to survive.
And while they do that, they run into even more those faces, like Jeanette Goldstein from Aliens.
We have no time for cameos.
No. Yeah, but I love the two gay bodybuilders.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of which is Brian Thompson, the guy who plays the bad guy from Cobra. Kurt, who you've seen.
Anyway, so they get to the top of the building. They finally get into the copter, and they get to the chopper finally. And it crashes into the La Brea tar pits, and they drown together in the pits and talk about how they'll be found hundreds or thousands of years, like perfectly submerged and encased in tar, like the mammoth where they first met.
Yep.
And it's all like a beautiful kind of love story, I guess, in that it's about the ephemeral qualities of love and how there is no real death or mortality or ending of things when one has found their perfect someone with whom to spend time. And it's a beautiful message. I think, like, I lost a couple grandparents recently, and I didn't get on the phone to say goodbye to them. I think there's a certain quality of like how that's what the movie is about.
It makes you value those final moments.
Yeah, like it's about kind of, you know, re-evaluating things that seem important in the moment, like getting to work and doing blah 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 blah.
It all goes out the window.
Yeah, it's like what's really important. Like it makes you really reassess all of that stuff in your life and think about what you would want to be buried with you in a tar pit at the end of the day, and
in a helicopter with the woman that you or man that you love. I do want to mention there's one line that was amazing when they're in the helicopter. And he says, like, she goes like, well, what's going to happen now? Are people going to like help each other or like rebuild things? And Anthony Edwards says, I think it's the insect's turn.
Yeah.
And what's great too is in the beginning of the film, there's this wonderful like kind of one take credit sequence where it's showing the evolution of man and then stops with Anthony Edwards kind of like saying, this is the stop of the next part of the evolution. And then the cockroaches are all going to be left. And then you'll...
Cockroach love.
And then there'll be two cockroaches going...
Yeah.
Just like us.
Yeah.
So you like the movie?
I did really like the movie. It was a first time watch, so I'm interested to see how it like sits with me and how I like will appreciate it more on the second viewing, because I do love a good rewatch. For a first time viewing, yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a good Valentine's movie. I think it's one of those films that like you'll react dramatically differently if you're in love or you're not in love.
Well, hopefully, if the end of the world happens...
If you're not in love and you watch this movie, you'd be like, fuck this movie.
No, you'll just go, I'm going with the old people to Kansas.
Yeah, well, I wanted that anyway. With you.
Yeah, well,
but,
like I want pie.
I mean, I definitely would. I feel that way whenever I watch any kind of apocalypse horror film. I'm like, why would you even try to survive?
Yeah, I mean, but at least they did it together, and the way that the movie ends, it is melancholy. It is a bit of a downer. But it's bittersweet because they, you know, at the end of the day, they found each other, and that's all that matters.
Yes. Yeah, it is very romantic. There was a very brief 15-second alternative ending, which is not alternative. It's the same ending, but they have this like 15-second thing. So they basically talk about how they're going to, you know, like drown under all this pressure of tar, become like beautiful diamonds in eternity together, and it's very, very romantic and sweet. And they could have been eating pie, but instead they became diamonds. And it's a nice ending. I like that it ends on that dark note. It makes everything else, like all the like weird dream logic stuff, worth it. That you get to this dark ending where they're forever conjoined in this mishmash of like whatever. And
then the original ending
just ends there, which is great. But
the actual ending was turn into diamonds.
Oh, this was what the studio made them take it out?
The studio was like, nope, not happening. So you know what? Good studio note. It would have been too weird.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Also,
they literally like talked about it, and then you just see this really corny 80s, like it's really deep.
It looks like
and
the
then
animation
it's really
from
corny
like heavy metal or whatever.
Yeah, it's so crappy. Anyway,
so good studio note.
to end this conversation, best trivia of all time, which makes the whole movie so much better. So Anthony Edwards and Mare Winningham were close friends, like their whole lives. They met at like theater camp or something random when they were like kids.
She was definitely.
I might be getting that fact wrong, but they knew each other for a really long time. They were really close friends.
She was in the Brat Pack because of the whole St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah,
and
so they were very close, which is one of the reasons why he recommended her for the part. And they're now married. So, they lived entire lives separately and had other marriages, had other families, just remained friends that whole time. And 23 years or something after this really like cult romantic film where they're forever together, they found their perfect, which is about time and finding the perfect time to be with someone and getting your timing right. And they finally got their timing right.
And they got married.
23 years after they became diamonds together.
So technically it does have a happy ending.
It does, yeah. It's really the perfect like grace note to a very, very dark, intense movie experience.
So now,
onto a lighter note. Rolled. I will say, very good choice of. I don't know how well they work together, but that was definitely the right order.
We'll get to that at the end.
It was definitely the right order to put Rocky. That's like a Miracle Mile is like a whoo, and then you're just like really in the mood for something that's just gonna brighten your day. Take everything, turn that frown and turn it upside down. And there is no movie that is able to do that better than the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Richard O'Brien's Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Seen all kinds of movies, but you've never seen anything like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
They're probably foreigners with ways different than our own. I'm just a sweet transvestite.
See the Rocky Horror Picture Show. A different set of jaws. Rated R.
So you wouldn't say it's Jim Sharman's?
No, well, Richard did all the music and lyrics. He did the play. Yeah. He's kind of well known more as like he plays Riff Raff. He's the creative kind of force more associated with it. I mean, Jim Sharman as well, but like I would say he's the executive, like
the creative force behind
the creative force, the mastermind.
When you first said it, I was like, I never would have considered it a one night only movie. And the thing that I think is both its strength and maybe my only quibble with the movie, I know, is because I was a casual fan of this movie before we met.
I know. I saw on his letterbox that he only gave it 3.5 stars, and I literally was like, I don't think we can be together.
I got chewed the fuck out.
I was like 8 years old, so all of the sex stuff just went entirely over my head.
The sexual fluidity.
Yeah, all of that beautiful non-binary, like, doesn't matter if you're a man, you're a woman, or what have you. All of that went over my head. And because I really wasn't, I would later kind of explore queerness and my own identity and binary whateverness of who I am. Who cares? But at the time, I think I just really felt weird, and I felt uncelebrated in my weirdness, like because other kids were just like, "You're weird," and that was like a bad thing. So I remember watching this movie, and it was like, no, being an outsider and being like a little freak is actually the best thing that's ever happened to you. Like you should be so happy that you were born a weirdo. Like and I was like,
a movie that embraces that.
And it really, like, my little baby weirdo Grinch heart grew all of the sizes. And I was just like, oh, I have like, in my own little way, I was like, this is kind of like a home. I really felt very strongly. That's why I picked it as my first film for this series, because it really is a huge, I don't want to always pick movies that mean a lot to me, but
how
Rocky
many times
Horror
have we watched it?
Means a lot.
Over the span of our date nights, a lot.
So many times.
But it's usually, and that's the thing, we like whenever we do date nights, we don't just keep it to like party movies and fun movies. We watch some serious shit. Like we watch some dark stuff.
And at a certain point of the night, you just need a boogie. You just need to dun 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 dun. how do you do? I won't do the whole.
we can't because we can't pay for that shit. So.
Oh, and I should be doing sort of Damocles anyway.
But that, like I was saying before, I was a casual fan at first, and then watching it, and I think this goes for any kind of communal experience. When you get to watch a movie with people, especially the person you love and your creative partner and someone that you can talk about, that's part of the reason why we love doing date nights. For one of the main rules is movies we've seen before, for the most part. So that we can talk through them, because of course we sit there and go like, oh, look at that L cut, or oh, that shot's kind of weird, or oh, I love that
like
moment,
you're eating pizza, you're drinking beers or what have you, or in this case a Rob Roy.
These are very strong, by the way.
And so it's like you can't really give a film a first time viewing experience unless it's the very first one up.
That was
you
our
can't
rule.
give it the attention it truly deserves, because obviously your mind starts to
wander.
Well, you are literally drinking poison, delicious poison, but it does kill brain cells.
The fact that this was a rallying cry to all the misfits and the freaks and the outcasts, that there was a movie that spoke to them, but also especially with the midnight showings, there was a place.
Yes,
there was
that's
a communal experience that all of them could get together. That
For
queer,
sure.
straight, didn't matter. There was a home for letting your freak flag fly.
And I watched it by myself the first time.
So did I. I saw it on VHS.
But I felt that way about it. It was just a really you can create your own midnight show. But then, of course, when you actually do the official midnight showing where there's an MC and you dress up and all the fun things.
That's all right. The experience of seeing it at home, because like I said, when I was growing up, they had it on VHS. It came out on VHS for like $100, and it was a phenomenon. But I watched it at home for the first time, and I was like, I
love how I
understood.
I just assumed that everyone's already seen it. I didn't actually go into the premise of the movie at all. Should I just quickly do
Why not?
The premises? So it starts off in a little town in America called Denton. That's actually a song from Shock Treatment, the unofficial spiritual sequel, which I also made Joe watch recently for the first time. And what did you think of that one? Maybe that could be a film at some point. It's really good.
I liked it. I need to see it again.
It's a lot darker than Rocky Horror,
Although
which
Jessica
is why people
Harper's
don't
in
like
it,
it.
right?
Yeah,
She was amazing
she's
in that,
super good.
From Suspiria.
And in this one, the person playing that Jessica Harper character is Susan Sarandon. Slut. Anyway, I'll try to do a quick wrap up. I'll try to be brief.
If you haven't seen Rocky Horror,
Brad
you
and
should definitely
Janet are at their friend Betty Monroe's wedding in Denton, which is kind of like Anywhere America, American Gothic, all that fun stuff. They get engaged. They decide to go pay a visit to their professor friend who introduced them. So they go off to announce their blissful, happy American news. And when on the way to go see their professor friend, the car breaks down in the middle of the road, and they see a bunch of motorbikers going towards this castle in the velvet darkness. It's such a good songs. And so they go up to the mysterious castle, complete with like lightning and everything. That was what that was.
That sounded like a Ferris Bueller song.
That was the classic like Frankenstein.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's better. I need better sound effects.
Yeah, fine. You can have that one. And who do they find at the door but hello, Riff Raff, played by Richard O'Brien. I will go through the great cast. You can look it up on Wikipedia. I won't Wikipedia the movie for you. That's basically the premise. And they have their clothes taken away from them. They jump to the left, and then they do a step to the right, and then the elevator doors open, and who steps out?
Zoom in.
But Dr. Frankenfurter
Himself.
Yeah.
Now, Tim Curry, again,
the most
I grew
beautiful
up
man in existence.
retroactively. I grew
Is
up
it
with
Dr.
Tim Curry.
Frankenfurter or
Yes,
just
it
Frank?
is.
Yes, oh, thank God, I got that right.
And
Yeah.
I grew up with Tim Curry from Clue and from
Home Alone 2.
Oh, well, Home Alone 2. No, I
And
seen
Times
Rocky Horror
Square.
at that point. I never saw Times Square at that point, so I had
My mind was super blown when I found out that Home Alone 2
I had always
was
seen
the same person.
I'd always seen pictures of Tim Curry in that, like in Fango and stuff like that, but unequivocally, Tim Curry is a revelation in this movie.
I mean, it's unlike any of his other performances in any other movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like, he's not a man. He's not a woman. He's just this beautiful creature who struts down in this like incredible garment and thighs and
it's almost
heels
as if the
and
movie
makeup, and it's just
he is the embodiment of the seductive quality of the movie, because there's people from every walk of life and every gender and every sexual identity. By the time you get to, which could be my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which is the Frankenfurter seduction shot.
Oh yes, but isn't it nice?
Where they have, it's a profile shot of first Frankenfurter comes in and seduces Janet and has sex with her, and then the same thing happens to Barry Boswick.
Potentially calls up some questionable archaic notions around consent, but ultimately I guess what it's trying to speak to is that it can morph themselves into
whatever
desire, whatever that might be, and that potentially their desires are more intricate and nuanced than they would ever have guessed themselves, because even when Frankenfurter is strutting down the hallway in that very first scene, they both are clearly like enthralled and
but also as naked as one can get,
but they're like biting their lip, both of them. But
that's the movie seduces you, where even when I was a little kid and I didn't know what my sexual identity was at all, I was just like I remember watching the movie when I was 12 going, oh man, he's hot, and there's something about what Tim Curry brings to the role, which, correct me if I'm wrong, he played the part when it was first live, before they shot the film, right?
Yeah, they shot it. They did it several different play versions in both LA and London. And he was always Frankenfurter. Yeah. It took him a while, I remember, to actually come up with that, the Frankenfurter, like that way of talking. It took him forever to nail that, figure out that voice.
But once that snap zoom comes in, honestly, like we were even talking about like favorite quotes, and I think it's the anticipation. Like it works so well that you can't not want to.
And every time you get it like
a
half second too early because you're so excited.
Now, in terms of the one night only conceit, if we're going to compare apples to apples and oranges to Miracle Mile, Miracle Mile, I think, has that ticking clock, right? They got to get from point A to point B to point C. Hopefully they live. We'll see what happens. So it does have a very linear kind of fashion
it's real
to
time, whereas I think time just kind of stops when you enter the castle.
So there's so many great musical scenes.
Yeah.
There's so many great musical numbers.
Just a party.
And so much happens. It's only 93 minutes, and it moves, but it feels so dense that I by midway through, by the time Meatloaf comes in, who's got a great cameo,
amazing! I love him.
I feel like he was underused.
Eddie.
He's only got one scene.
Oh,
right?
the bad. How does she say Eddie?
Yeah, you do it better than I do. He's only got one scene before he's turned into.
Yeah, but have you ever
right?
seen a man's lips move faster than him singing that song? Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I would honestly struggle to pick a favorite tune. There are so many bangers in this movie. I
have to say that, you're right. Like, it was
turning
tough to
taboos into taboos.
There's a tagline right there. I was trying to think of what's my favorite scene? What's my favorite musical number?
Yeah.
Time Warp was the song that everybody played at every dance, and you didn't even have to see the movie.
I know,
you just knew
it's
it.
like a little kid's backyard birthday party dance. Like, it's so stupid. It's so fun.
But again, like Miracle Mile and like some of the movies that we're going to hopefully recommend to you guys more often, upon rewatch, because I've seen this movie, and if you've been on my Letterboxd, you've watched the stars go up. Every time I watch it, I find a new.
Because I keep treating you to increasingly drunk dance interpretations.
That also helps, Well, I get the live shadow cast of one, which is always great. But every single time,
roles.
I find a different thing that I like about it, a different scene. I love the structure with the narrator. I think that was really cool and interesting that the narrator doesn't come in until 10 minutes into the movie, so you don't even know
they talk about him a little, but then he he's in the introduction at the very beginning. You just don't know what his name is or what he's doing. But he has that whole, because they're riffing off of all those classic kind of B movie sci-fi horrors where they're like, I'll take you on a journey, and then you get thrown into the movie, and so you do see him. He's a part of the film from the beginning, as a bookend, unless you count the Richard O'Brien like science fiction double feature song as the true bookend.
What is this?
Don't dream it. Be it.
That is upon this screening. That was my favorite, and I never realized.
It almost is quite melancholy. Yeah, you're right. That moment.
It does end on a slightly bittersweet note, but right before that, it is literally sexual fluidity at its finest. They're all making out in the pool. Like they created sexual fluidity almost as a term before anybody else did.
Yeah. Well, it's a journey. You have to have your come downs and your come ups.
But I got to admit, I think the first half of the movie is such a
it's so intense. That first 20 minutes is like one intense song after another that it's just so much adrenaline that you have to eventually come down.
Yeah, by the time you get to the dinner scene, it kind of loses a little momentum, but then by the end for the big RKO Pictures
What's
finale,
for dinner? Meatloaf.
Oh boy. But by the time we get to that ending with the pool, I feel like the movie comes up again, and when
and he climbs up the radio tower.
When Riff Raff and Magenta
dies,
reveal that they're aliens, I think that was that kind of brings the momentum back. And then that ending, the ending that felt very reminiscent of Bad Taste. Like when the house just kind of flies away. Bad Taste stole it from Rocky Horror, let's be fair. So I feel like this was a fantastic double feature. I think this
overall they worked. I don't know that I would have picked them knowing, like I wouldn't have maybe gone with Rocky Horror knowing it was Miracle Mile, but I think it was fun.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
I thought.
And that's part of the fun of this
I thought you were
way of doing it.
After Hours. And I'd be like,
oh my God, that would have been
intense.
so, I
would have almost vetoed that.
Yeah.
Now, before we let these guys go and before we go back to work or whatever, was there any other movies that came to mind in the one night only paradigm that you would recommend?
Oh my gosh. Well, I started out by saying all the original. I mean, what ultimately makes Rocky Horror, because I did mention a lot of the one night only movies that like initially came to mind is like, I always think of those kind of horror movies where it's like you have one night only to survive at like this William Castle's castle. And for me, I guess ultimately when it came down to it, I thought if I had one night only left in my life, I think I would want to have Rocky Horror Picture Show with me.
That's
so
your
that
like
the ultimate
that's your desert island.
Yeah, if I had if I'm taking the theme only to the ultimate extreme of one night onlyness, this is the movie. Because I also thought about Groundhog Day, which is like the ultimate one night only.
It's kind of a one day only, really.
Yeah, it's just like living the same day, whatever. Anyway, my point was that like if I had one night only left to live, I would want to have Rocky Horror Picture Show by my side.
Fair, that's good.
And you?
Oh, thank you. I would say if there was another one night only movie that I would recommend that we've talked about before, whether out in the wild of the public or on Movie Crypt, Thank God It's Friday. That's a one night only. Yep. If you want something fun, that's another movie that if you are
so much fun.
Fans of Panic Fest, we showed Thank God It's Friday there 2 years ago, brought the fucking house down. It's a one night only disco movie, Academy Award winning.
Oh yeah, because of Donna Summer.
Yes, Academy Award winning, Thank God It's Friday, with maybe the greatest intro to Jeff Goldblum of all time. Gorgeous. Oh,
so good.
I'd bang him. But if you want something that's a little more on the Miracle Mile side, I would actually go with either Assault on Precinct 13. That's definitely on the darker side. Set in LA, has that kind of feel.
That's a good one.
Also in the same kind of like style and look. It's not necessarily a one night only, but it would be a good, I don't know if it would go before or after, but the same kind of feel, The Terminator. Kind of the same area, has a doomsday feel, has apocalypse going on. It's in the same neighborhood. It has the same kind of look, that kind of LA in the 80s had a very hazy like look and quality to it because
smoggy.
They had these certain xenon lights in LA back in the time, and so many movies were shot back then on the streets of LA, and that they just had that look. So I would go, if you wanted a nice B movie to complement Miracle Mile, go with either The Terminator or Assault on Precinct 13.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yes, if I could think of another movie to complement Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Phantom of Paradise, maybe?
Yeah.
With that kind of same
kind of... That might be too much, though. Like,
what about Clue? One Night Only.
Clue's kind
Tim
of
Curry.
fun. Yeah, interesting. Ooh, I hadn't thought about it. Because I actually did think
Right?
that
Like in
Miracle
one
Mile
location.
was a really good complementary film, so I didn't actually think about what might be a better one.
This is what
But
we
Clues,
can bring to the
Clues,
table.
yeah,
next time.
exactly. No,
I
that's
like
a
that
good
there's
conclusion
alts, you know?
thing. I
Hedwig.
think, yeah. So overall, I say yay to this
As a double feature.
So let us know if any of you at home decide to do it. And if you do, what your thoughts are,
Yes.
and
Yes.
what you would have chosen for your one night only movie marathons. You can call us stupid. We are. So
That's
I would
true.
like to know if anyone is actually watching this.
So, all right,
what you
let's
would have
wrap things
chosen.
up.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up. So thank you so much for getting to this point in the pilot. Obviously, a little rough around the edges, but the plan again is that we're going to do, this was the first. This is the, you can grab
I
him
called
from-
him Rocky.
Oh, here, I'll grab him.
I meant Rocco. He's a bit too heavy for
Oh,
me.
he's a beast.
Oh, he's
so
a
the
beast.
plan of
Beefy
this
beast.
pilot month is that this first episode we're going to put up for all of you lovely Patreons for supporting the movie Crypt. You get an hour of free content both on video and audio. We're going to release another episode every week at 12:01 a.m.
If
right
you
on
like
Friday.
this, if you don't, we don't have to.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So we are going to put this on a paywall. This is going to be for both video and audio. So you're going to get the video
So
version
you get
and you get the
treated
audio.
to this sexual. I'm going to keep dressing up as a character from the
I'll
movie
get
that I
dressed up
picked
every once
week.
in a while. We'll make the video worth it.
Had decided to both do it this week, but
No, we didn't. I don't know what
yeah,
you're talking
no,
about.
we did. We did decide
Yeah,
that this
yeah,
would be
yeah.
a fun component for people who wanted to spend the extra, like, small amount to get the visual, get treated to this lusciousness.
So each week,
So
you'll
I'm
get
going to
an
keep
episode.
doing it, unless again you all hate it, in which case I don't have.
Well, that's the thing. So this is where hopefully
Feedback
because
is
we want
good.
we want feedback, and also we want to know like what
And
you
just,
like,
yeah,
what you don't like.
I'd love to hear what you would have picked. It's all
Yes,
subjective.
definitely. In the
Art
comments
is very
below,
subjective.
let us know what you think for your perfect double feature for One Night Only. Again, if you like this video and you want to see more from us talking about movies, giving recommendations, each episode after this, we're going to do 4 more this month. We'll be behind a paywall. You'll be supporting the show. We're going to get better equipment. We're going to probably be able to pay some rent, which would be great. But more importantly, we'll be able to continue the show.
your money.
But I love doing this. I
We're
love
doing this
with
for
you.
fun.
Yes.
Oh my god, you're such a terrible person.
No, I'm not. But I'm so sick of us not being able to take our fucking phone calls because I'm
Oh,
using
I
the
hate
iPhone.
it.
Oh shit. So anyway, if you like a couple old fashions with Becca and Joe,
Oh, yes.
consider supporting us by going on the paywall. And who knows, after the month, if it does really well, we might spin off onto another Patreon. We might even branch out from there, or we might not do it again because you guys rejected us. So no hard feelings. Please support us. Thank you guys so much. We should talk about next week.
Yes. So we've already decided on our, just in the event that anyone's watching this, we have decided on our next week theme. Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, we even forgot that we were going to call those conclusion thoughts about the film we were going to call our nightcap segment.
Well, see, again,
Rough around the edges.
Support the show so we can get better and better so that by the time we get to like the 4th episode this month, we'll be a fucking well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Okay, so wait, what's our theme for next week again, Joseph?
Our theme for next week that we will pick a movie at random and secretly show each other what that movie is.
Oh, I remember what it is.
Growing Pains. Now, when we first discussed this, I think you immediately thought of one idea from one
Well,
realm.
we both. This is why we like
And I
this.
did. Completely different.
Because yeah, both of our brains, despite us being very similar people, we approach things in very different ways, which is why I think we complement each other nicely. And when I think of the TV show, when I heard Growing Pains, I was like, well, it's like about the emotional pain.
I
of
grew
growing
up
up
with fucking
whereas
Kurt.
Joe went straight to body horror. So I think it'll make for a potentially very interesting double feature next week.
And this is what I love about this is that like we get to throw that theme out. Let us know what you guys think.
Yes, please.
Maybe it will influence what we pick because we haven't shot it yet. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But I'm really excited to shoot the next one so that we can get together, watch this movie with you. With you. I don't know why I got that.
Me.
Yes. Now, I should have had like a cool tagline. I wrote one down.
Oh no, yeah. Do we not have a good end?
So here, I'm gonna consult with my my co-producer here.
Oh dear God.
So here, I'll do. Here, you do that one, and I'll do this one.
Oh, that's so corny.
Well, you come up with a better one by next week.
My
We're gonna
gosh.
try this one out. If you like it, we'll keep using it. If not, come up with something better, or we will. This is what I love about this. This is like the incubation period. We're in fucking
Thank
Burbank.
you for joining us on our Friday night date night at the movies with Joe and Becca. We will see you in the cinema.
Or on the couch. Not bad. Yeah.
You didn't even leave like a good beat.
Back to form. Yeah, I did.
No.
There's going to be a cool star wipe. It'll be great. Or I'll just cut ourselves off half.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.